Hi, I'm Amber Rose, and you're listening to the Brutally Soft podcast. Welcome back to Brutally Soft, the podcast where we talk about contradictions, the hard and the soft, the holy and the chaotic. Today we're talking about something that's been sitting heavy on my heart. I know I said last week we were going to talk about a specific topic. I changed my mind. This has been sitting on me particularly heavy, and I just feel like it's something that needs to come out. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. I have some notes down here, so if you see me glancing down here, it's because I journaled about it, and I talked about a lot of stuff, and I think that it's really important, and I think that a lot of people will resonate right now, and that's what I'm going to share with you today. So today, we're going to talk about the body. My body in particular, because I can't speak to your existence or your experience, but we're going to talk about my body and how it relates to everything that I want to discuss today. I've been living in this body for a long time, obviously, almost 30 years. I have lost trust in this body before. I have tried to reclaim this body tens of times over, and I'm in the process of reclaiming again. We're talking about grief, growth, tenderness, always tenderness, and all the contradictions that come with trying to feel at home inside a body that's changed. We'll be talking about and diving into what birth control did to me, what my miscarriage did to me and my body, what survival mode looked like, and how I'm slowly, intentionally taking my body back. Not to punish her, but to care for her. If you have ever struggled with your body through chronic pain or hormonal chaos or weight loss or gain or cultural pressure, this episode is for you. My journey with my body has been a long and winding one. I have always been a bigger girl. Literally my entire life. I have pictures of me in kindergarten, and people sometimes will look at those pictures and be like, you look like you were in 3rd or 4th grade. I was always a big kid, weight-wise, height-wise, my whole life. So I have genuinely done my best. It has not always been easy, and I failed a lot. But I've genuinely done my best to, at this point, love myself and love my body in every single one of its iterations. I might not have always loved everything about my body, but I always knew how much I loved me. I always knew what I was worth. I don't know why, but in the last year, that journey has become more difficult. I would say maybe in the last year or two. A couple years ago, maybe at this point, a year and a half ago, the timeline gets hazy when you're in a fog. I got on birth control. I have not been on birth control since I was in high school. I hated it the first time, but I figured, I'm older now, my hormones are different, they have more options. Let's just get into it. I had started dating my boyfriend, really was not trying to have a baby. So I was like, let's see what we can do. I'd heard great things about Nexplanon. Everyone I talked to that was on it loved it. And I was like, okay, you know what? That sounds like a great option. I don't have to take a pill every day. My ADHD ass is not always going to remember. And I'm not trying to be messing around while I got a man. Mm-mm. If I didn't have a man and I wasn't with anybody, then whatever. But I wasn't trying to take any risks. So I went to get put on Nexplanon, and the first week or so it was fine. I was like, okay, cool, yeah, this is nothing. And then the hormones really hit. The hormones really kicked in. and I felt like a shell of a person. My mood was insane. I cried all the time. I was getting infections regularly, UTIs, yeast infections, BV, all at the same time, all the time. I was on antibiotics probably for 4 or 5 months straight. My gut microbiome said, and because it said, I got really depressed. I was not okay. I was not well. And then because I was put on the Nexplanon, I was bleeding constantly. Constantly. All the time. To which I said, hey, something's wrong here. I went back and said, this is not good. Help? And they said, oh, you want to know what would help? More birth control. More birth control. We're going to put you on birth control pills on top of being on the Nexplanon. Doesn't that sound like a great idea? And I said, no, just take this fucking thing out. And they said, oh, well, we don't take that out until around 3 months. You know, we ask you to keep it in for 3 months just to see if things will level out. And I said, all right, I guess. I took the birth control pills on top of the Nexplanon, and I went absolutely fucking batshit insane. I gained weight. I got depressed. I became a whole different person that I didn't fucking recognize. And then when I finally got the Nexplanon out, because I literally looked at them at the end of 3 months and I said, if you don't take this out of me, I'm going to start a riot. I still felt like a shit person. I still felt like shit. Even after they take it out. Because the hormones are still in there. All the effects of what everything did is still happened. I'd already been on antibiotics for all those months, so my body's already fucked. I felt awful. And because I felt awful, I spiraled into really unhealthy habits that I had not participated in a really long time. I was on a health journey. I was doing so well. And then I got on this birth control and I went, well, everything feels like shit, so fuck it. So in that mindset, I continued through my life. Things are still spiraling. I'm eating horribly. I'm not moving. I'm emotionally, physically, and mentally exhausted. And then I get pregnant. And I was like, fuck. Well, we knew this could happen. So we're going to buck up and we're going to be a mama. You know? We're going to be a mom and that's okay. And we'll figure it out because we love our man and we're engaged. Or we weren't even engaged yet, but we were on the track towards that. We love our man and we're going to be together forever. We're going to be a family and we're going to have a baby and we're going to be happy about it. And then I had a miscarriage. And then I had to process, oh, I was actually kind of happy I was going to be a mama. I was happy I was going to be a mama. I was happy that I was having a baby with the love of my life. And now that baby's gone. And not only is that baby gone, I'm physically going through a miscarriage. The hormones of that, of being pregnant and gone. The physical pain that comes from purging a miscarriage. I went to rock bottom. I thought I knew rock bottom emotionally. I was proven wrong very quickly. I gave up on myself. I gave up on life. I gave up on the idea of better. I was not well. I was not okay. And in the midst of all this, I'm like, okay, well, everything fucking sucks. I lost my baby. I have no idea who the fuck I am. I'm about to turn 30 in a year because I just turned 29 as I was miscarrying. The week that I miscarried, I turned 29. I'm gonna be 30 in a year. What the fuck is going on? Who am I? I was like, you know what? I'm clocking out. I'm just gonna clock out for a little while. I'm gonna let y'all have that. I'm gonna see myself. out and down. I stopped cooking. I stopped moving. I ordered out every single day. I came home from work already depressed, laid on the couch until midnight, and then was like, oh, I should probably go to sleep. Woke up, repeated everything the next day for months. Months. I miscarried in October. It's June. And I'd been doing that probably since the end of April, beginning of May. I was destroying myself, and I couldn't see it. And I couldn't see past all the bullshit because I was so deep into my pain. Survival mode will kill you if you stay in it too long. And I've been in survival mode my whole life. I finally was able to get out of survival mode. I put myself back in that hoe, and then I got sick around a month ago. I had to be home from work for a week, and I looked, it was an opportunity. I think the universe really sat me down, actually sat me down. And it was an opportunity where I could look around and be like, oh, I don't want this. I already knew that I felt like shit. When you're eating unhealthy, processed foods all the time, you don't feel good. Your body doesn't feel good. I got heavy, and I have Ehlers-Danlos, so it's a joint and skin disorder. My joints ached all the time. Chronic pain. I wasn't helping myself. And then because I'm eating processed foods, the inflammation of all of that made everything worse. I was killing myself slowly and softly. I didn't feel in control. I felt like my body wasn't mine, and that I was trying to control what I could in the most unhealthy ways possible. When I got sick and I had that realization, it was a moment for me to be like, oh no. When I'm 90, I'm not going to have a choice but to lay down. I'm not going to have a choice but to exist in chronic pain. I don't have to make that choice right now. I don't have to allow myself to live in chronic pain. I don't have to allow myself to perpetuate generational curses and not take care of my body and to eat like crap and to be in survival mode and to make bad decisions for myself and my body. I don't. And I'm not saying that I want to be skinny. That's not what I'm saying. I don't want to be skinny. I love my curves. I love my thickness and my softness and my fullness. But do I feel not good right now, being as heavy as I am, knowing that I have a chronic illness in which I have a joint problem? Absolutely. It does not help me. It actually hurts a lot all the time. I'm also not even doing it for weight loss or aesthetic reasons. Even if I don't lose any weight, I need to feel good again. I need to feel good again. I want to feel good again. I do want to say I say all that with some hesitance because I don't want anybody ever to listen to this and be like, see, this is what obesity will do to you. This is what chronic, if you're big, you deal with chronic pain and you deal with these issues and you deal with blah, blah, blah. No, I don't want anyone listening to this and feeding the fucking propaganda machine of fat phobia. I'm so not cool with that, and I will never ever fucking feed that machine. What I'm saying is my individual journey. I know plenty of people that are my size or larger that are healthy, that it feels good on them, that it's never been a fucking issue, and I love that for them. I wish that I could be one of those people. I wish that I could be one of those people where this weight on me doesn't hurt me physically, doesn't trigger the worst symptoms of my chronic illnesses. I wish. More power to people. Fuck yeah. More power to people that can exist like that and love existing like that. I live for that for them, genuinely. So I don't want anybody taking what I'm saying right now and being like, oh, see, this is why everyone should get thin. Fuck that. So sorry. Not sorry at all. I also understand that right now we are seeing a resurgence towards 2000s thinness. And that doesn't escape me, especially with the rise of white supremacy and fascism. Yep, I'm saying it. It's not a surprise to me that with those things on the rise, we're seeing the turn back towards skinniness and thin ideals. I know that the cultural pressure is creeping in for a lot of the people in the plus size community right now. And it's kind of hard to not allow it to creep in when it has seeped disgustingly into every facet of our current society. I see it, I'm calling it out, because I think that it could get potentially really dangerous. And I think it's important for us to ask the question, who gets to be beautiful in this society? And unfortunately, because we're seeing a trend towards those things, white supremacy and fascism, a lot of us are being told that we have no value anymore. That thin paleness is and has always been the most valuable. And I think that that can get really dangerous for those of us living and existing in marginalized bodies. It is easier for oppressive systems to devalue and dehumanize bodies and people that don't exist inside the small mold that is being touted as the ideal. The greatest act of rebellion that any of us in marginalized bodies can ever do is to not feed into that mold, or to not feed into it as much as we can. And as a Black plus size woman, I have spent my entire life fighting for my softness to be seen as sacred. And the society as a whole might not be seeing that right now, but at the very least, I can. Or at least I can try to. With that being said, I am in a shift right now. Not towards thinness, not towards this ideal that was literally never created with me in mind. I have to remember that. We all have to remember that. This ideal was not created. It was purposely actually created without us in mind. For those of us that are watching or listening that look like me. But I am in a shift right now of I just want to feel better inside my body. I have given up Uber Eats. Uber Eats and I have broken up. DoorDash and I have gotten divorced. Both of those apps have been deleted from my phone. I have cooked for myself and for my man every day for the last 2 weeks. Good shit. I've been cutting out dairy because I'm lactose intolerant, and Lord knows I was not following along with those lactose intolerant guidelines. I love me some cheese. But it was destroying me. It was truly destroying me. I did not feel good every single time I ate cheese and ice cream. And I would look at myself and be like, why do we do this to ourselves? And one day I was like, no, literally though. No, literally, why do we do this to ourselves? And then I said, you know what? Actually, I don't know. It's good. Not that good. I promise you that. So I've been finding alternatives. I haven't fully given it up because that's going to take some time and I'm weaning off. But I have limited, for sure, my cheese intake. And I'm not eating anything that's like, I'm counting my calories and I'm only eating this. No, I have an eating disorder. I've grown up with an eating disorder. Counting my calories would actually be the worst, most horrible thing for my mental health. So I'm not doing it. I'm not counting the number on the scale. I'm not doing any of that. But I am eating hearty meals with a protein and a veggie and a healthy fat. And I've been eating fruit for snacks and hummus and all sorts of real good shit that feeds my body in a different, more holistic way than I have been feeding. I am currently in the process of learning the difference between control and care. Because on one hand, back in high school, back in the day, I did too much. I counted calories. I did not give myself enough nutrients. I was trying to control the outcome of what I wanted my body to look like at the time. And then when I was trying to just have some control over my life in the 2 years ago, in the last year, whatever, I did the opposite. And the only thing I had control over was feeding myself for my feelings. Oh, I'm sad. I need to eat everything that's going to give me that dopamine hit and make me feel better. So now I'm in the process of like, okay, well, I'm relinquishing the things I can't control. And I'm controlling the things that I can, and I'm doing it with the utmost care for myself, my highest good in my body. I've been thinking a lot about something me and my best friend talk about a lot, which is our meat suits. And that's what we call just like our physical vessel that houses the essence of us, the soul that we scientifically know exists. And we always say that our meat suit lags, that the reality and the 3D world takes a minute to show the things that we feel in our souls, that we've changed in our makeup and in our minds. The body takes time to heal. What I was doing to it was not good, and it was throwing it out of whack. And I'm in the healing process right now. I'm healing my mind, I'm healing my body, I'm healing my body's trust in me to take care of it appropriately. And in that time, it's going to take time. And I think, getting frustrated with myself because I'm like, all these mind soul ideals that I have, and the 3D is not fully showing up the way I want it to show up. I'm still aching. I'm still having a hard time walking certain distances. I'm still adjusting to these new changes that I'm making in here first, because intention moves faster than matter. So I've been telling myself in the last week, there's no need to punish myself and my body for moving slower than my intention. It'll come. One day, in the next month or two, I won't ache as much. I'll be able to walk a mile without hurting. I'll be able to run a mile without hurting. I think I want to also emphasize that I'm making these changes and implementing movement in the gym and healthier foods and all that stuff. I promise I'm nourishing myself. I eat multiple meals a day and snacks. It's just all better for me than the fast food that I was getting. But I'm implementing all of these things not because I don't love myself, but because I do. And I hate the idea that people attempt to lose weight or attempt to shrink themselves out of hatred for what's happening with themselves. They're shrinking themselves because they don't like what's going on. And I hate that. It makes me so sad that people will lose weight and will put themselves in a different body because they hated what they looked at in the mirror. And I have done that before, and it never lasts. I've done that before, it never lasts, and it also never feels good, because guess where that hatred goes? Right onto your new body, because you never truly healed the actual problem. And it's that you hate yourself. I'm moving through this change with deep love and reverence for who I am, for what my body can do, for what it did to keep me alive at my worst. You can love your body, you can love what you look like, and still want to change things. That's okay. You can be grateful for your curves and still want a little more ease. You also don't have to love every single inch of yourself in order to treat yourself with kindness. I know, radical concept. You don't have to love every roll, every stretch mark, every piece of fat, skin, whatever. You have to love every bit of you in order to treat yourself nicely. Physically, emotionally, mentally. I think before, a couple months ago, I kept saying, I want to go back to the girl that I was before the birth control. I want to go back to the girl I was before the miscarriage. The body I existed in before everything went to fucking shit. And it just made me feel bad, that mindset. It just made me feel like shit, and nothing could change because I kept being like, well, I want to be that girl again. I will never be that girl again. I won't. I have gone through too much. I've seen too much. I've learned too much about myself, about others, about the world to ever be that girl again. But I can be the woman that I'm becoming. I can be the woman that has grown and changed and learned through all of that, that is now participating in different habits, in healthier habits, in healthier mindsets. I can be that woman. I can ride and die for that woman. So I'm not going back anymore. I don't want to go back. I'm going forward. Because this woman that I am right now is not a failure. This person that I had to become in order to survive through some of the worst shit the last year. I haven't even talked about all of it because it would be so much. The person that I had to become, the body that I had to exist in order to survive, it kept me alive at my worst, is not a failure. It is the foundation for everything that I will be and everything that I will look like moving forward. This person is the foundation for which I will build my beautiful, bright, healthy, happy future. And I fuck with that heavy. And I can look at myself in the mirror and say, damn, we hurt right now. We hurt right now, and we can also see the little areas in which our clothes don't fit the same anymore, and we can also see that everybody else can see that we look different, and that fucking sucks. But you know what? You're that bitch because you survived, because you lived through some real fucking hard shit, and you still are sitting there in your fucking jewelry, in your two-piece set with your makeup and your hair, and you look fucking fantastic, bitch. I'm proud of you. I can still do that. Even on hard days, I can still fucking do that. This whole conversation isn't just about size. It's never just been about size, because the size is truly the least important part. It's also the least interesting part. This has always been about sovereignty. Always. And everyone's journey is different. And I really want to emphasize that. Everyone's journey is different. Everyone's body is different. What my body needs, what my body can't handle is going to be completely different than what my friend's body needs and what her body can handle, and what the stranger on the street's body needs and what their body can handle. Everyone is different. Everyone's journey is different. If you decide that you need Ozempic because you want to lose weight, then that's on you, and like, you can do that. More power to you. If you feel like you want to be 300 pounds for the rest of your life because that's what feels good, fuck yeah. I love that shit. Don't change for anybody. I don't owe anyone a transformation, but I do owe my self-care. Period. You don't owe anyone the body that they think you should be in, but you do owe your self-care. So after getting on my soapbox for the past 40 minutes maybe, I'm gonna move into my soft spot for the week. And my soft spot this week has been movement. I grew up athletic. I was always in sports. I loved moving. I loved dancing. I loved basketball. I loved being an athletic person. And I think I'm genuinely my happiest when I'm moving in some way. I love feeling strong as shit. There is something about feeling strong, and that's really what my soft spot has been this past week. Is I feel deeply connected to that strength again for the first time in a long time, mentally and emotionally, because pushing yourself in the gym requires a lot of mental strength, but it also requires a lot of physical strength, especially when you're going up in weights and all that. And I'm a big weightlifting girly, because I have PCOS, and I try to do more low intensity workouts as to not raise my cortisol and mess me up in there. So I've really been reclaiming and rediscovering my strength this last week, and how there is still softness in that. And strength and softness can go hand in hand and exist at the same time. I'm really excited to see how strong I can get. I want to be able to lift tables with both hands, like heavy wooden tables with both arms, and crush a watermelon between my thighs. Like, that's what I'm trying to get. I'm trying to do big bitch powerlifting shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's my soft spot. My one brutal truth this week is that sometimes loving your body isn't gentle. Sometimes it's not a gentle experience. Sometimes it's harrowing. It's insane. It's crying on the floor and then getting up and choosing to love yourself anyways. It's learning to trust your body, learning to trust what your body can do for you, learning to trust when it says, hey, something's not wrong, or hey, something's really right, and allowing your body to have that time to trust you back. If this episode resonated with you, I hope that you carry it gently. Your body is not a project. It is your sacred vessel, and it talks to you. Try your best to tune in, and at the same time, tune out all the bullshit that is being spewed at you regularly about what you should and shouldn't do for your body, and about what your body should and should not look like. Your softness is not a flaw. You are not behind. You are becoming. If you are in the middle of a shift, mentally, emotionally, physically, I see you. I am with you. Please be patient with your meat suit. And if no one has told you today, you are beautiful right now, as you are right now. You are enough, even in your progress. Thank you so much for being here with me and for entering into this brutally soft space. I will see you guys next Friday. I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to talk about next week because, as we have seen, I like to change my mind. So I'll see you next Friday with a surprise episode. And remember, try to stay soft even when it's hard. Try to allow yourself to exist in the contradiction of being brutal and soft at the same time. I can't wait to enter into this space with you again. It wouldn't be an episode or a brutally soft episode without technical difficulties. Just to Anyways, I talk with my hands, so this mic is gonna be a game changer. I'm not going. There's just no way. There's no way. I look so cute today. My bitch is shaking ass with her hands out. My bitch is shaking ass with her hands out. Okay, I gotta go.